here's your wrestling news for April 17th, 2023, and we're kicking off today with the Bloodline, who for the past 3 years have been the most dominant faction in WWE, but they're not the only stable around. While Roman Reigns and his allies have been dealing with Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle, the Judgment Day have had their hands full with Rey Mysterio and the LWO. Now these two heel factions will form something of an alliance, as according to WRKD Wrestling, the plan for tonight's Raw is for the Bloodline and the Judgment Day to target each other's enemies. Tonight's show will see Solo Sikoa look to dispatch of another world champion when he faces Rey Mysterio, while Owens, Zayn, and Riddle will take on the Judgment Day in the main event. We're not quite sure how this agreement will be reached between the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, but we'll be getting some exciting new matches on the road to Backlash. So far, no matches have been formally announced for the May 6th premium live event, but tonight's Raw could make things a lot clearer on the road to Puerto Rico. And are you excited to see the two factions form an alliance? At this time, the clock is ticking for Drew McIntyre in WWE to reach a deal, as his current contract will expire by the end of this year. McIntyre and WWE are said to be nowhere close when it comes to money, with Drew also said to be frustrated with his creative direction. And there's been another unfortunate update for the Scottish Warrior. McIntyre hasn't competed since WrestleMania 39 due to an injury he suffered prior to the showcase of the Immortals, and fans shouldn't expect him back soon. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer writes that McIntyre won't be returning to action in WWE for at least a few more weeks due to his injury, and even then, there is no guarantee that he will be brought back immediately. McIntyre recently caused a stir online by blacking out his Twitter profile and removing all references to WWE, leaving many to speculate that he has decided he won't re-sign. A lot is changing in WWE right now, and more changes are expected later in the year, but the new era of WWE may have to go on ahead without Drew McIntyre. Now, Lacey Evans is certainly one of the most unique personalities in WWE today, but her background as a Marine and as the sassy Southern Belle hasn't helped her much as of late. After making her main roster debut in December 2018, Evans eventually got a feud with Charlotte Flair in 2021, but those plans were nixed the moment Evans discovered her pregnancy. Since her return to TV last April, Evans has had multiple character changes and brand changes, but fans have likely seen the last of her on TV. According to a source from WWE's panel of producers, Evans is among the names that WWE are planning to release as part of the Endeavor deal, with one source saying, "We've tried everything with her." Evans has hardly helped herself out, as her social media actions, including posts that have questioned the legitimacy of ADHD when she shared a video of someone saying it didn't exist when he was younger. It was not long after the Endeavor deal was announced that the company president, Mark Shapiro, said that synchronicity will be key between WWE and UFC, with layoffs expected from both promotions. Speaking on his Drive-Thru podcast, Cornette reacted to Evans' dodgy booking in WWE ever since her return, stating, "She's great, she's got the size, she looks great, she has the demeanor and the facials, she can talk like a bitch. What a great heel she's been, and then she disappeared again. And stop and start, back and forth, I don't know. I don't know what the problem has been, I don't know why they've stopped and started this girl and have given her umpteen different personalities. It's the most baffling thing I've ever seen. She would be a no-brainer of anybody on the WWE female roster. Past Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, Lacey Evans is the one that I would take next, trying to figure out something to do with." It's been nearly a month since Evans last wrestled on TV, and even that was to be part of a makeshift tag team with Xia Li, and it'll be just a matter of time before she's not teaming with anyone in WWE. But what do you think? Should Lacey Evans be shown the door after the Endeavor deal, or is there still hope for the Marine on the main roster? Evans isn't the only star who's not been booked well as of late, as former women's tag team champion Aaliyah hasn't been seen in a very long time. The young superstar hasn't wrestled since she and Raquel Rodriguez lost the titles to Damage Control last September, and while she remains active on social media, this hasn't facilitated in her WWE return. It was in November that reports came out stating that Aaliyah is no longer injured and is cleared to return, and fans have seemingly seen the last of her. When Ringside News asks, they were told that Aaliyah's name has not been discussed in creative meetings at all, and there's a reason for that. The same panel of producers added that Aaliyah is also on the list of names WWE are planning to release later this year, which will come as a blow to her fans. After spending years in developmental, Aaliyah was finally called up to the main roster, only to have the rug pulled out from under her and expect the feisty superstar to be given the pink slip soon enough. We've got some sad news to report now, as indie wrestler Jimmy the Jester has died at the tragically young age of 34. The news was broken by the Monster Factory in New Jersey, the same place he began his training in 2007 under the guidance of Danny Cage. It was in 2019 that Jimmy became a full-fledged pro wrestler and wrestled in various promotions, including Titan Championship Wrestling Entertainment, Standalone Wrestling, Lucha Riot, WWWA, and Atomic Championship Wrestling. While the Monster Factory statement states that Jimmy died in his home, it has been reported that he died due to a car wreck he had previously been in. Jimmy is survived by his mother Rose, her husband Edward, his stepbrother Jesse, and his two dogs Holly and Nixon, and we at Slatrock would like to offer our deepest condolences at this time. It was at WrestleMania 39 that WWE made one of their most decisive decisions in years, as Cody Rhodes was unable to finish the story and dethrone Roman Reigns. To many, WrestleMania was the perfect time for a title change, especially with Reigns wrestling far less these days, which made the decision to keep the title on him all the more questionable. One man who knows all about controversy is Eric Bischoff, and on his 83 Weeks podcast, the Hall of Famer shared a concern for what'll happen from a creative standpoint. Bischoff added that he was ready for a title change at the event, and added that he fears that WWE will lose creative momentum and that the company's creative needs to evolve. While many feel that Rhodes' loss was the wrong call, WWE has its defenders, with Road Dogg saying Cody needs more adversity to overcome, and Teddy Long saying the title win would have been too soon. Odds are that fans will be debating whether WWE was right or wrong at WrestleMania for months to come, and do you think WWE made the wrong call in Los Angeles, or should they hold off on finishing the story? It was on the post-WrestleMania Raw that Cody Rhodes was attacked by Brock Lesnar, and a match between the two is expected to be announced tonight. Given the viciousness of the beatdown, Rhodes didn't wrestle on the following Raw, but the American Nightmare has now made his in-ring return. At a live event in Rio Rancho, Cody opened the show by telling fans he was not cleared to compete, and an attack by Imperium would have continued if not for the save by Matt Riddle and Kevin Owens. To settle the score, a six-man tag team match was scheduled for the main event, with Cody, Riddle, and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions standing tall. Not only was this a big win for Rhodes, but given that a report from WrestleFeatures said last week that Cody was on the cusp of a milestone, this match marked his 1500th match for WWE. Many believe that Cody will be undisputed WWE Universal Champion one day, but he will have to wait for that big win, and until then, expect Rhodes to remain the top face in WWE, if not the champion. For over a decade and long before they were in WWE, the careers of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have been intertwined, going back to their days in ROH and PWG. Now, not only are they the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, but Owens and Zayn have changed up their ring gear, which has come from an interesting source. On Twitter, a fan revealed that they had created a design for the Owens-Zayn tag team after Sami left the Bloodline in January of this year, and that fan got a message from Owens himself saying that his design was the inspiration for their gear. When others asked the fan if he had been monetarily compensated for the design inspiration, the fan made it clear that it wasn't about the money, but they're just excited to see a WWE design be inspired by his own. In 2 weeks, Zayn and Owens will be defending the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships against the Usos in a rematch from WrestleMania 39, in what will no doubt be another barn burner from two of the best teams in wrestling today. But what do you make to this design, and who do you predict will win this upcoming WrestleMania rematch? Share your views in the comments. When NXT UK closed its doors, the vast majority of the roster was cut, with only a few survivors making it to the NXT brand in the United States. Noam Dar was one of the few names not officially released by WWE, and now the Scottish-Israeli superstar will be making his in-ring debut for NXT. After making his debut on last week's episode of The Gold Brand, it has been confirmed that Dar will make his wrestling debut tomorrow night, though who his opponent will be remains to be seen. This week's NXT will also see Gallus put their NXT tag titles on the line against the Dyad and the Creed brothers, while Wes Lee will defend the North American Championship against Charlie Dempsey. Dar is the reigning NXT UK Heritage Cup champion and is eager to seek competition and a worthy challenger, and we'll have to see who answers his call during tomorrow's WWE NXT. Since returning to WWE in the 2023 Royal Rumble, Chelsea Green has become the chief Karen of WWE and has had her share of issues with Adam Pearce's management style. Green has also taken issue with the fans since coming back to WWE and had an epic response to one particular member of the WWE Universe following a live event. On Twitter, Rick Ochberger, better known as the blue shirt and red baseball cap wearing sign guy, shared his sign for Green with the words "Chelsea sucks" and a picture of her husband, Matt Cardona. Unfortunately for Rick, that sign was ripped in two by Green, and in a tweet of her own, the Raw superstar said that the sign guy can expect a letter from her legal team. We'll have to see if Chelsea Green receives any compensation from Rick due to the emotional harm that sign caused her, but in the meantime, the Canadian superstar remains fully committed to this character. For years, John Morrison has proven himself in the ring, picking up titles in various wrestling promotions, but recently, the former superstar proved he can hang in the world of boxing. At the Creator Clash 2 event, Morrison fought Harley Morenstein, better known as the face of Epic Mealtime, and the former ECW World Champion did not go in alone. For Morrison's entrance, he was accompanied by several wrestlers including Karrion Kross, Scarlett, L.A. Knight, Mojo Rawley, and NXT commentator Vic Joseph, among others. For the match, Morrison demolished Morenstein to get the TKO victory. As it turns out, a lifetime of being in incredible athletic shape was better than a career of eating bacon and processed food. Post-match, Morrison used his interview time to call out KSI for a fight, and after his surprise appearance at WrestleMania, we'll have to see if the British YouTuber faces the Shaman of Sexy. In both the NFL and wrestling, Steve Mongo McMichael was a force to be reckoned with, but for years, the former athlete has been facing serious health issues. Due to his fight with ALS, Mongo's health has severely deteriorated, and this week, we got an update from one of McMichael's fellow horsemen. Sharing a photo on social media, Flair said that Mongo is doing okay, and Rick said that his friend is stronger than anyone the Nature Boy knows. In June 2021, it was reported that McMichael had lost the use of his arms due to ALS, as the illness continues to devastate his body. It's sad to see Mongo in the state he's in, but he is surrounded by those who care for him, and we're wishing him and those who know him the absolute best at this time. And we're ending with Mercedes Mone, who both in and out of WWE has proven herself to be a star, and has earned countless fans over her years in the wrestling business. With that said, we all know that some fans can take things too far, and this week the IWGP Women's Champion needed to make the importance of boundaries clear. Taking to Twitter, Mone spoke about fans waiting where she is staying in Japan and feels like a line has been crossed. She said, "Hi fans, I'm happy that you're excited I'm here, but please don't follow or wait for me at my place of stay. There'll be an appropriate time and place for a meet and greet. Please respect my privacy and space." This isn't the first time Mone has had to speak about fans not giving her space, as during a 2017 episode of the Not Sam podcast, the then Sasha Banks said fans waiting for hours at the airport or her hotel are crossing the line. Before she was a wrestler, Mone was a fan and knows how excited fans can be to see their favorite stars, but it's worth remembering that the stars are still people and deserve their privacy.